Hey, what's up? It's Dave here with FindYourNextGuitar.com, and this is Gear Talk. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you how to get a free speaker cabinet. The speaker cabinet is kind of a caveat here. I don't mean this to be clickbait, but you can get this speaker cabinet from Harley Benton, from the company Thomann in Germany, and it costs $223 shipped. Now, I might add what happens to be inside: two Celestion Vintage 30 speakers. Now, that is one heck of a deal. And as soon as I saw it for sale, I went and bought one. I was a little skeptical, to be honest. But for the price, and since they had a money-back guarantee, I figured I'd pull the trigger on it. I'm always looking for a good 2x12 cab, so I figured I'd check this out. And once I started playing around with it and I ripped it apart on inside to see what was inside, I knew that I had to share it with you guys because this is such a great deal, and I don't think they could possibly continue to sell these at this price. The build quality is actually really good. It's made out of solid 16 mil plywood. It's not like, an $800 Mesa or Orange cabinet, but for $220, it's way better than a Marshall MG cabinet that costs $400, even though it's a 4x12, but it's made out of, for all intents and purposes, cardboard, and those don't have V30s in them. So this is a great deal for the price. I'm going to cut now to some clips where I've opened up the back of the cabinet, and then I'm going to do a sound test. Looking at the build quality of this, I've got to say I'm genuinely impressed. When I initially saw the video that Philip McKnight did, I was worried about the craftsmanship of this, and then when I was looking at the price, which this is actually my packing slip right here, it's in euros, but you can see the total value was 166 euros shipped, which turns out to be about 223 US dollars, which is a steal. And as soon as I plugged it in, I knew that they were real, genuine V30s. You can see right here, there's a dent. This is from shipping. It could have been packed a little bit better. It didn't have a whole lot of padding in it. The mesh speaker protector, if you will, and more or less this is a dust cover. This is made out of a thinner, cheaper material than, say, like the stuff used on the Jet City amp, which is a lot thicker. This is probably maybe 4 times the thickness of this, but it does the job of keeping the dust out of it. Overall, other than it could have been, packed a little bit better in shipping, this is a great deal on a guitar cabinet. But I recommend this amp cabinet. Absolutely. If you've got an extra $220 lying around, this is a steal because you're getting a decently built cabinet, but you're also getting 2 real Celestion Vintage 30 speakers. And build quality wise, I'm not really sure what the wood is made out of. Once I open it up, I'll be able to tell you exactly what's inside there. Based on the little bit of shipping damage and dent in it, I don't think that it's particle board. It says that it's made out of 16 mil plywood. I believe that at this point. I don't have any reason not to believe it. This Tolex coating seems to be made of like a pleather. It smells like pleather. It's kind of soft to the touch. Probably not ideal for an amplifier cabinet, especially if you're going to gig it. It is very thin. You can see that there's a little bit peeled back here, but it looks nice, and I think that it will keep up for years. And this would be the perfect cabinet if you've got an in-home studio, or if you're a touring musician and you don't want to take like a nice Mesa cabinet or a nice Orange cabinet with you, or Marshall cabinet, whatever. You don't want to take your $800, $1,000 cabinet, grab up one of these, beat it to death, and it's going to give you the sound that you want. One of the things Philip McKnight didn't do in his video that I wish that he would have was open the back of this up and then show that there's actual vintage 30s in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. If you are ever going to take the back panel off the speaker cabinet, it's typically a good idea, if it's possible, to remove this back plating first. Funny story about the first time I ever took one of these off. I didn't know any better. I had no idea how a speaker cabinet worked. I was just a curious 14-year-old. I just wanted to rip the thing open, so I undid all the screws, and then I thought it was stuck, and I pulled really hard, and then I ripped all the wires out of the speaker cabinet. So yeah, it's best if you take this plate off, and you can just kind of let it hang here, and then that'll give you some slack, so it's not putting any extra pressure or tension on here, so you don't pull the leads off or pull them out of the speaker. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. Now that I have all the screws out, we can take a look and see what's inside. And this is another good sign already. This is a really snug fit. Overall, I'm really impressed with the entire thing. Well, there you have it. There are the genuine Celestion Vintage 30s. There's 16 ohm speakers. I think I have a little bit more slack before it starts to pull on it. Just so you guys know, that is not a crack in the paneling. That's just the ground wire back there. Another thing I'm really surprised by is they actually used pretty thick 16 gauge wire in this, and that actually has a pretty dramatic impact on the overall sound. The last thing I wanted to end the video with here is, it's important for me that you guys know that I'm not endorsed by this company and they're not paying me to make this video. I just want that to be clear, that this is my opinion, this is unbiased feedback. I think any day of the week, getting two V30s for $220 is a pretty good deal. That's about the price that you would pay for them new anywhere, and then you're not getting a cabinet with it, and then that's probably shipped more than that. Speakers in and of themselves are kind of expensive to ship. They're kind of a pain to ship, and ship them well so they don't get damaged during shipping. And in the next video, I actually do a 2x2 comparison between the Panama cabinet, which is about in the same price range, but this has Panama Vintage 30s versus Celestion Vintage 30s, so that way you guys can see the difference between the two of those. As always, if you guys found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts.